In this case, why don't we get started with our Session 0 for our cyber campaign, gang? Sounds like a good idea. So, Cyber Session 0, Meropis in space. Our big world that we play in, now even bigger, which we all love and enjoy. So, going forward, we'll first start with introductions. Except no, because I understand all of you need your social skills to warm up a bit. And I figured that we might have some late people. So, we'll hold off on that for now. But speaking of social skills, we'll go over general rules now. Ones, because most of us are here, so we can just do that. Most of this stuff you guys have heard before, but we're just going to reiterate some things. Table alcohol policy. Again, I've put a lot of time and work into these campaigns, into these sessions. Please do not drink and be drunk while we are playing. Table phone policy. Of course, if you're taking notes on your phone, you need to, shoot a quick text or something like that's fine. But as most of you know, my sessions are pretty densely packed with information that might pop up days, weeks, sometimes even years later and are of vital importance. So definitely try to keep off your phone, at least during the session time, as much as possible. No scrolling Instagram and things like that. As for table ruling policy and DM fiat, I try to be pretty even-handed with my rulings and things of that nature. But am a utilizer of Rule 0, DM Fiat. If there's a ruling that you don't agree with, just talk to me after the session. We can go over why the ruling was that way. In terms of cancellation policy, the shorter time you give me before a session, if you cancel, the worse it is for me. So if there's a chance that you're not going to be able to make it to a session, or there is a reason why you need to remove yourself from a session, just let me know beforehand and I can usually work around it. It's the last second, 5 minutes to go before a session, I have to run. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. That leaves me really high and dry. As most of you know, though, and Jack, you haven't played in a campaign with me before. As long as 50% or more of the players are still at the session still gets ran. So there are very, very, very few actual cancellations of full sessions. And usually I am pretty consistent in terms of running sessions. I think most people here can attest to that. We just completed a campaign called the Tattercoat Nights, where it was done in basically a year, and we only had one session cancellation over the course of that entire year. So we are pretty consistent here. And part of the reason for that is, the cancellation policy and just me wanting to be kept in the loop if you're not going to be somewhere. Because it's the worst when it's like, oh man, I really planned for someone to be around and they're not there. And it feels really awkward and stilted. So, those are the main rules and expectations generally for the table. Do any of you have any topics that you'd like to bring up or talk about just to set ground rules before moving on? And if there are, then we can bring them up at later sessions, no problem. This is just the easiest spot to do it because we're all here all in one place. So, if I'm not hearing any of the topics, then we can go ahead and move on. Restricted topics. So, some topics in tabletop games are generally restricted. I have a general rule and policy of, respect everyone else at the table. Nothing too rancid and graphic. The topics that I usually say are off the table, really sexually explicit content, specifically like rape or like really in detail sex scenes. No one wants to be there and do that. And in particular, I work with people who have been human trafficked, so I really don't want to take my work home in these games. Torture as well, extended torture scenes, I don't think they're really necessary. Player suicide, the sacrifice of your character is okay for a purpose or a reason. That will happen, those are dramatic. Just throwing yourself off a building because your character is sad, I think is antithetical to the core ideas of the world. And player suicide is just generally something that I don't really ever want to see in games. So those are the topics that I kind of want restricted moving forward, especially in cyber. Is there anything else that you guys want added to the list in the future?
Personally, no, I think mine are all covered.
Okay. Then, that is the case. Then, we really don't have too many problems for most people in the group covering these things. But if we ever go and venture into a topic or situation that you don't like or you feel uncomfortable with, just tell me, shoot me a direct message, and we will skip right along and course correct. Although, again, I think for most of these, this is not going to necessarily be a problem. So, going to get into a little bit of C.Y.B.R's story, kind of going forward, just general context, so that we're all in the same place moving forward into the start of this campaign. We are starting in World Arc 2 of the Rings of Meropis, 90 years thereabouts. Since the days of the Vitality War, where the High Gods and the Titans crashed, nearly destroyed the cosmic stack, and since then we have entered an unprecedented age of innovation. Now, there have been some hiccups with the coming of the Dark Triumvirate, that being demons, beholders, and mind flayers, attempting to exert their influence and control on the cosmic stack. So, in C.Y.B.R's story, we pick up really with one character and their journey out of the Rings of Meropis. That character being Khorania. And we start with Khorania's no good, very bad, shitty catastrophe. If any of you know about the lore, there was once a continent known as Zorgadon. On this continent, Khorania, a hero of the first world arc and goddess of invention, was trying to conduct an experiment. The experiment went wrong, incredibly wrong. It was a catastrophe, and the continent blew up. So, since that point, Khorania has been the target of much ridicule and outrage, as well as the target of a slander campaign in our previous West Marches campaign of Our Thing. So she is at an all-time low. She has heralded the age of innovation forward, and now is trying to simply get away and redeem her image. How is she going to do that? We need to talk about tachyons. So, we are going to start a way too simple explanation of quantum physics and subluminal particles. Alright? Trust me, I've had to do way too much research into these things, and I've had to wade through an absolute army of fucking horse girls. Because one horse girl is named Tachyon, apparently, and she's everywhere when I'm looking this shit up. So, it's annoying. But, we're getting there. So, this is a general image of a tachyon. What is a tachyon? It is a hypothetical particle that has no mass and moves faster than light speed. It's hypothetical in the real world, constantly accelerating, and does some really interesting things with time when you run the math out, where there are some thought processes that say, if you get it going fast enough, the tachyon should be able to move actually backwards in time. In the Rings of Meropis, the tachyon is no longer hypothetical, though. Why is that? Well, we have this faster-than-light particle. In the Rings of Meropis, tachyons are created during periods of space-time warping. This allows the particle to get up to faster-than-light speed because reality is literally warping and fracturing. Now, many were created during the defeat of C.Y.B.R Meropis and the demon prince Astaroth during the end of our last West Marches campaign, our thing. This reality warping time in the Rings of Meropis caused tachyons to fire out everywhere from the Rings of Meropis and the world out into space. Alright? So, these tachyons are valued because they're able to warp reality when contained and properly utilized. However, we need to ask the question, why does the Rings of Meropis want these? Answer. Him. Hi, Cooper.
What did I do?
That's a fantastic question. What did you do? Hey, Cooper, compression. The compression of data.
Oh my god, I sent you so much information about this.
Hey guys, Cooper sent me thousands of words of data and writing.
You asked me an interesting question.
Oh yes, I did ask you an interesting question, and I got a very interesting answer. So, what was happening with compression? Compression is essentially taking large amounts of information and putting them in a smaller, more readable form to save on space. Is that a pretty good summarization of what basically compression of data is? Okay. So we have that. Now, this man, Chandrian Slake, the villain of our thing, at least one of the villains, was building specific machines to compress reality. A compression chain began happening at that moment, where data, the literal data of the universe, is beginning to be compressed. The Rings of Meropis is literally losing shades of gray. And it's a feedback loop that is occurring, as what these compression machines are doing is taking, let's say, 64 shades of red and very slowly turning it into 62 shades of red. But no one really knows the difference between 64 and 62 shades. But eventually, there's only going to be one shade of red. And eventually, there's only going to be one color. And eventually, there's going to be no color. As the universe continues being compressed. And so, that's going to make it so the Rings of Meropis is basically destroyed. Everything's going down. So, your guys' job, after you've been basically, tricked, after these machines are whirling up, is to get out there, get those tachyons, to stop the schemes of the demons, and make sure reality isn't compressed into an itsy-bitsy tiny-whiny box.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, right?
Easy.
Easy. Where are those tachyons, though? They are here. An entire galaxy. Rings of Meropis. You guys are here in the galactic core, thought by most of the galaxy to be uninhabited, maybe just a massive black hole. That's where you guys are. And from this point, you, under the leadership of Corania and the fleet admirals, will go out as pioneers, explore the stars, gather tachyons, beat foes, and spread the age of innovation. Pretty simple, pretty easy. As you guys can all understand, little more difficult than I'm letting on at this moment. That's okay, you'll be fine. So, let's talk about my GMing style, at least going into this campaign. this is a West Marches campaign. I've used the term a few times. What does West Marches means? It means that there is no set time for this campaign to meet. No set amount of players. You guys schedule the sessions mainly yourselves, bringing people together and working around when I am free to run these sessions. And there will be a scheduled meeting time, usually 8 p.m. on Sundays. Might shift to 7 p.m. any given Sunday, but 7 to 8 p.m. a start time on Sundays, running for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Just a standing time to run and play a session that I will usually always be available for. But during the week, you guys can schedule sessions and do your own things. When looking at C.Y.B.R, this is supposed to be an expansive story. Stories that span galaxies, where you guys can get lost in the world. I want this to be a campaign where the Rings of Meropis feels expansive and huge and truly like a living, breathing, not just world, but universe. It is unlikely that a player will know everything about every questline, because C.Y.B.R is many different campaigns packed into one. But you guys will be able to bounce back and forth and experience so much in this world. And all different flavors of campaign lie in this universe. There are some worlds that are hyper advanced. There are some worlds that are barely out of the Stone Age. So anything that you guys are looking for, it's present here in this campaign. My design philosophy when building C.Y.B.R is a together by choice philosophy. C.Y.B.R is obviously going to be easier the more all of you work together. However, each individual player and their characters have everything that they need to conquer the galaxy, expand, and go through arcs really all on your own. But that makes the choice of who you ally with, who you try and face the darkness with, all the more meaningful. So when you make that choice to work together with people, it really is a choice. And it really does mean something. Building this found family together in the dark reaches of space. This also includes solo and mini missions. Solo missions, missions that you can theoretically do just completely on your own. And then mini missions. Missions that are supposed to really be a singular scene. If you have 20 or 30 minutes and say, hey Colin, are you up for a mini mission? Just a quick little snippet of character to get something quick done, to talk to an NPC, to resolve a small problem, but as like a quick shot, especially because many of us have very busy schedules and want to go ahead and get RPG play where possible. Then I also want to reward player initiative, vision, and a desire to build. You will all have ample opportunities to go forth and build out C.Y.B.R to be the campaign that you want to experience. But that requires you to take the helm of your ship and steer yourself into that direction. And as we go forward through this session 0, you will go ahead and experience that. So that should be exciting. Now, a few things to discuss. Is this campaign dramatic or comedic? It's both. It really does depend on the type of missions that you pick and what you go on. I, of course, lean more so towards a dramatic slant in terms of how I construct my sessions, but, I think we all have lots of comedic moments. So, it really is a mix in C.Y.B.R. The level of lethality, it depends. Some missions are going to be more dangerous than others, and you'll be able to see that kind of on the missions. And it kind of specifies what level of danger are there hostiles, etc., etc. Combats. I am leaning on momentum, action, and players realistically stretching their abilities in combats over the course of C.Y.B.R. So definitely something to go ahead and look at. Of course, C.Y.B.R. uses the Wonder system, and that allows for a whole lot to be accessible to all of you over the course of these combats. Anything as a check, roll, or save away. The story in C.Y.B.R., when you're looking at it, it is ranging from linear to sandbox, and it really kind of depends on what stories you go for. Some stories are more linear, some are more sandboxy, but again, I want there to be a high variance over the course of this campaign. Now, what is the length of C.Y.B.R.? My guess is about 100 to up to about 200 sessions in total for C.Y.B.R. At the very least, I think C.Y.B.R. is probably going to end in 2028. I think it's going to be a very long and expansive campaign, and with that in mind, I completely understand if you're like, I think this character's story is done. I'm looking to send this character back to their families, back to the Rings of Meropis, and start something new. C.Y.B.R. wants to explore the idea of like this greater world, the flowing of characters in and out, and looking towards the greater stars, and experiencing kind of this cosmic scope. The themes of C.Y.B.R. revolve around the dangers of technology, one's duty to their creations, fulfillment, purpose, imperialism, the virtue of mercy, and all of these other concepts and ideas. And with those things, the overall arc of the galaxy and the world is much more important in that way. So, that is where I'm coming from when creating C.Y.B.R., and that's where my GMing style is likely at this point going to arc to. While our thing was more so trying to reflect a lot of things you guys were giving me, I'm going into C.Y.B.R. with a very particular vision for this campaign. And a lot of the changes I'm making reflect, my personal vision for the campaign. But at this point, I'd like to throw the floor back to all of you and, just ask, are there any expectations or desires that you have from me, or anything that you expect of me as your game master heading into this campaign?
Thank you for running that.
No problem.
Very, very excited.
Gotcha. But
Yeah, I guess for me, pretty much everything that you've done so far, I am extremely happy with, so.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Then, if that all seems kosher and good, again, like, if you have anything that pops up to you later tonight, a week from now, a year from now, even, feel free to let me know, and we can go ahead and get that done and accomplished. So now, we can talk about C.Y.B.R. gameplay updates, because there are a lot of updates to C.Y.B.R., and I just want to hit some of the big ones that I think will make the biggest change over the course of, this game for all of you. So, there's been a reduction in roles. In previous West Marches campaigns like Solandis or Our Thing, there were roles that players could jump into before a mission. Those roles had certain tasks that could be completed for benefits. However, C.Y.B.R. has drastically cut back on those roles. Now, every mission just needs an overseer, which is kind of like a leader of a mission, and an optional recorder. What are those two roles? The overseer is like your mission leader, director, makes the engagement roll to get you into the session, and makes any big decisions that need to be made before a session. They basically schedule the session and have final say on what kind of goes on in the preparation of the session. Recorder is an individual who goes ahead and just posts the notes of what happened during the session. The notes don't need to be expansive. 1 page even could be enough. It just needs to be enough so that a person who hadn't been at that session can go ahead, read the notes, and once you read the notes, you have a general understanding of what happened during that session. Now, obviously, we think that more is better here in terms of those notes, and the more detailed notes that you're able to give and create, I think the better. But recorder is optional. Now, part of the recorder in the past has been at the end of certain seasons or arcs, you get a big collective server-wide bonus because you faithfully kept the records. Because recorder is optional, that's not going to necessarily be the case. However, if there is across-the-board blanket recording, then yeah, you're going to get a massive boost if everything has been faithfully recorded. However, if you have successfully recorded everything for a particular arc or quest line, because in CYB.R, there's going to be very explicit quest lines a part of missions. So let's say a quest line has 5 sessions. I will tell you when that quest line has been completed, and if at the end of that quest line you have faithfully recorded everything, you get a boost in that quest line. So it's just a little, kind of thank you for the effort in recording, posting the notes, and it's not like you need to have a big undertaking for the recording. I'd like to take this moment to thank Peter, Ryan, Jamie, Brandon, Athena, everyone that worked on the notes at the end of our thing. I know that was a big undertaking. Hopefully this should make it way more manageable for all of you. So, thumbs up. And next up, the actual getting into missions in CYB.R is going to be way quicker. This is because we're breaking things up into pre-game actions. So what's a pre-game action? For each character, you get 1 pre-game action per day that can be sent in the new action channel that I'm opening up as we speak. The action channel is just a place to log what pre-game action your character is taking, whether it be training a martial school to get better in combat, mining an asteroid in deep space, engaging in diplomatic politics. There are so many pre-game actions that have already been built into CYB.R. And it allows you to engage with the game every day, even if you aren't able to necessarily make the session that week, or even over the course of a few weeks because life happens. You can still feel that connection. However, you might be asking, well, can I just completely level my character and get everything I need without playing sessions? That's also not the case. So, you can resolve or take 1 resolution of a pre-game action per session. Some benefits need to be resolved. Like, you could do all the training to get a new power out of session, but you might need to resolve that action in order to finally get that power and to move on to the next one, if that makes sense. So you have benefits floating around, you can do a bunch of things, but there are certain progression gates where you need to actually play the session. There are 4 mission phases as you go into CYB.R, and those mission phases are much quicker, more streamlined, and should get you guys into the action much faster. I know in our thing, there were some times where it might have taken 30 to 40 minutes to get into a session. With this, it might be, I resolve this action, I resolve that action gets resolved, and you're just telling me that you're resolving particular actions, and then we're making an engagement roll, and we're in the mission. So, very exciting. Now there's also a change to order, or like initiative, for those of you that have played more D&D, Pathfinder type of games. No more rolling in CYB.R. Instead, enemies will always go before player characters unless you burn a background action or your movement to kind of leapfrog them. And there are more nuances to that system, but basically it creates the following order positions, where you start with your slow enemies, normal players, normal enemies, and you can kind of go up through those tiers. So in this way, I'm only asking players if they are burning a background action or some movement or something. And so we get into combats way quicker, especially because I expect there to be way more of you playing in CYB.R based on interest thus far. Other updates. Wanted level. We are not having a group fleet-wide honor system. There's too much going on in CYB.R and there's too many parts of the galaxy. Each and every player, though, on your character sheet will track your wanted levels. And the higher your wanted level, obviously, the more the law and different factions will want to come after you. Maybe even bounty hunters will appear on a mission trying to, get you, bring you back, and cash in your bounty, dead or alive. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I play with someone with a really high wanted level? Well, if you have the lower wanted level, you gain resources equal to the difference in wanted levels -1. So let's say Brandon's a real bad guy, and he's got a wanted level of 6. But we have Jamie, who has a wanted level of 2, and is doing, really good stuff, kind of a goody two-shoes. Now, because Jamie is playing with Brandon, we take the difference, which is 4, -1, you get 3 resources of whatever you want going into this mission. So,
May I ask a clarifying question?
absolutely.
If there are multiple people with varying wanted levels, how would that work in this context?
So, like I said, it is equal to the highest wanted level. So, there are absolutely going to be people with varying wanted levels. It's just your wanted level versus person with the highest wanted level.
Okay.
So, with a high wanted level, you can get jumped. But if you go and try to help out someone with a higher wanted level, you will get resources for that because they're more willing to take risks, and, well, risk gets reward. So, something to keep in mind with wanted levels. Intel, we've already previously talked about a reduction in the number of roles. Players, you guys will have your own missions associated with your characters, and you'll get your own private data pads. You'll be using intelligence that you gather and spend in order to learn more things about those missions. So, intelligence is very important, and that allows you to unlock things on your data pad. If you look, there are some things on the data pad that are unknown. Hostiles are right now unknown, but much more of this data pad could be unknown. Even the description, if it's a particularly obscure mission, could be unknown. So, you go ahead and use your intel now before the mission begins to unlock portions of this data pad. That way, once the mission starts, you can hand over that data pad primarily as an overseer and say, all right, I'm ready to tackle this mission. No rolling or things required. There's also a momentum system. So you get benefits now for not necessarily taking rests by keeping that momentum going, staying on the grind, and this momentum can pay off in a big way. So if you build a character all around keeping that momentum who doesn't need true complete rests, man, you might be able to do some really cool things in CYB.R, because momentum is a resource, both in combat and out of combat. Now, we can talk about items and storage. So, all of you have access to the main CYB.R folder. I want to direct your attention to the player items. You guys will be able to go ahead, make documents associated with your character, and this is what I'm expecting to look for and place specific items of yours in. Your job is basically to just go ahead and manage your inventory however you want in that document, but just have a place where I can go ahead, place those items. There's going to be so many wonder characters across many fleets that I'm probably not going to necessarily have a chance to go ahead and make new documents every time you guys are trying to make a new character, because there is no character limit in C.Y.B.R. Look, C.Y.B.R is supposed to be very unlimited, very freeing, so you guys are getting a lot more freedom and opportunity. This also allows you to go ahead and copy paste a lot of standard items, armors, weapons, etc. I have a reference folder kind of tucked into player items that you can go copy and paste all of these armors, items, and things from the main document just into your character sheet. It makes things super duper easy for all of you. And as well, I gave you all a bunch of standard templates. These standard templates are everything from weapons, armors, items, summonable NPCs, ships. So, if you guys are trying to create something in C.Y.B.R, you can have the template kind of work and manipulate things and see what it's going to really look like at the end of everything. And if you guys just send me kind of a mock-up of, you know, the weapon you're trying to make, the ship that you're looking for, that can really help you get things a lot faster. So definitely go ahead, look in that particular folder, and go ahead and fill out your character's items once they're ready. This is the player calendar. This calendar here basically shows when people are free and when they're not free, when there's a session, when there's not a session. It's a scheduling calendar, so keep your column up to date. For others, available, not available, or a likely yes. The likely yes is just basically, I think that I'm 75% sure or more that I can make a session this date, but it's not a 50-50. So that helps to give people more of an understanding of where you are. For a mission, you can mark an O for an overseer in your column if you're signing up for that, an A for an archivist if you are going to be the recorder for that session, or if you just want to be a player, you just put a P in your particular box when there's a session going on. I have a column. It is in blue for when I have that day open, for when I can potentially run a session and generally win. All of my times are in Eastern Standard Time, so you can see it all right there. And then, of course, there are mission names, so it should keep everything super simple. And when you guys are attempting to gather people to run a mission, you just look at this calendar, you look for where there's a lot of neon green, and if you see a lot of neon green, there's a lot of people that you can potentially take with you. If you are attempting to go ahead and run a session, I am going to require you guys to put a message in the mission recruitment channel. That way you can go and recruit and ask people to come along if it's just a free and open session. And that's where you can try and get people to come along with you on a particular mission. But there are some missions that will be bonuses if you are part of a particular group or fleet. So it's kind of up in the air in that regard for what you need to do or not to do. But TLDR, scheduling calendar. Keep it up to date. Everything's right here. It should be easy for you guys to kind of tell what's available and when. C.Y.B.R keywords. This is already posted in the materials folder in the C.Y.B.R main campaign folder. Also, this was posted in C.Y.B.R drops. Pick 3 of these when you're making a character, and this will help to guide particular buffs and upgrades that come along with things in C.Y.B.R. It basically just helps you to round out your build and links into more of that independence, where you can pick something that your characters are already good at, but let's say you're like a DPS person, and you're like, man, I would really like some more support powers. I'd love to be able to remove injuries. You can select injury removal as one of those keywords, and you might get some injury removal stuff in the future. So go ahead and look for that. Make sure you give those to me when you're making a character so that I can give these things to you. I want to help you. I'm y'all's biggest fans. So let me help you. Now, there will be a character RP chat in CYB.R starting now. I am activating it as we speak. What is an RP chat? You might be saying an RP chat allows you guys to speak in character outside of sessions to each other, and basically just expands upon the role playing. So if you're like, man, I want to have a small RP moment with someone, but I don't want to take up session time, you can message them in the RP chat and you can go from there. Super simple, super easy. Doesn't necessarily need to even be canon if you don't want it to, because obviously some things in the RP chat, might not be able to be canon just with how the world is going at the time. But it gives you ways to continuously, throughout the weeks and months, have charactered RP moments at all times of the day, even if you can't make it to sessions. So that should be awesome. That should be fun. It's worked out really well in the past, so hopefully you guys take full advantage of it. And again, there's so much more. I'm going to direct you guys to the folders and the reference documents to see the rest, but there's been a ton of work put into CYB.R so far. Now, player wish list, guys. At this point, I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys and ask you, what do you wish to see in the campaign? What mission types do you want? Is there any particular situation you'd like to be in? It can be anything and everything to add to this wish list, and I can put it into my notes and kind of make a note that you guys want to see it going forward. So is there anything you guys would like to pitch?
I mean, as always, I love puzzles and riddles.
Puzzles and riddles, no problem.
Colin, could that be something that's like an open, text channel? Something that, because off the top of the head, I can't really think of anything, but like going forward, would that be a private message or something to throw into the player wish list?
I mean, it can be private, it can be open, it can be whatever you want.
Okay.
I mean, I will probably definitely see it quicker and more easily than the open text channel because, we can post a lot of messages in the channels, but again, if you cover both bases, probably 99% chance I'm going to see it.
Okay.
Kill monsters. Kill big scary monsters.
Kill big scary monsters. Alright, we can certainly do that. Anything else? Alright.
Piece together pieces of big scary weapon.
Piece
Which I feel like can be a backstory thing, but could be fun for a group project.
Build
Piece-
the Death Star.
Build
Piece
the
together-
Death Star.
Oh
Build the
god.
Death Star.
Build the
Okay.
Death
What
Star.
a fun group project. That's one way of describing it.
Who needs to explore a planet if it's gone?
We're gonna get Coronia's reputation right back up.
Jesus.
Who's ready to have a reputation level of, or a wanted level of 20?
I'll do it.
Let's go.
Well, if you
Well,
burning
hell.
Siblings, like characters who are siblings who have wanted levels of 1 and pass the resources around each other. We got this.
Well, that's very interesting because we'll look at it more in the folders and the reference documents, but it's when you pass resources between each other, only half of them are fully conveyed. The other half go to the cost of the actual passing of the resources. Because I knew you would try to do that, you sneaky sneakies.
Okay, Connor, are you okay with making a wanted level of 40 instead to make up the difference?
It only goes up to
Access.
7.
They put taxes in my cyber campaign.
Death
It's called
attack.
tariffs, actually.
It's worse. It's worse.
One of the two things you can't escape.
Death and taxes.
All right. Anything else that goes on the wish list for you guys? Going once, going twice. All right. And, like I said, if there's anything else you're like, man, I'd really love to see more of this, just go ahead and shoot me a DM. I'll add it to y'all's wish list. Now we're doing intros because we've allowed your social batteries time to warm up. So we'll just go, well, we'll say bottom to top. We always start with the top so often. So for these intros, I mean, let's just say your name, a little about yourself, what you like most about TTRPGs, or don't say any of that. I'm not forcing y'all to say shit. If you just want to skip and pass, that's theoretically an option, but there are some new people here and many people who haven't played together all that often. And CYBR's going to be big, so why not get to know each other a little bit? Marcus, can you start us off?
Lovely. Name is Marcus Taylor, aka I'm him. I guess what I like, what type of stuff that I do is I'm a guy that likes action, so I like fighting. I like getting in the nitty gritty, fight monsters like Connor said, RPing here and there, but mainly I'm like a combat guy. And yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome.
Great, excited to play with you all.
Yeah. Jamie, what about you next?
Hello, my name is Jamie. I really enjoy, like I said, kind of puzzles and riddles, that kind of thing. I'm not great at combat, but I am trying to get better at it. Mostly my favorite thing, though, are roleplay moments.
Nice. All right, and now someone new. Jack, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everybody. This is Jack. I am super excited to play in this campaign. Connor has spent enough time telling me how exceptional Colin's campaigns are, and just the litany of documentation kind of goes to prove that. So, Colin, thank you for putting in the effort. I really like the versatility you can get out of tabletop games. So the ability to kind of pivot, I guess you can min-max, but to be able to pivot from anything to anything else is always pretty fun. So.
Well, you can certainly do that here and definitely in the Wonder system as well. Don't thank me yet, because every campaign is unique and different, but I will try to make it the best campaign possible for you, Jack, and hopefully you'll get to meet a lot of cool people here and have just a great time with us. So, really good to meet you. Peter, why don't you go next?
Heyo, I'm Peter. I'd say my favorite thing with tabletop role-playing games is the roleplay. I try my best with combat. I think I have a habit of going for some big swings. May or may not hit. But yeah.
Nice. I can affirm big swings. Horrific dice luck. Don't let him get too close to you.
Unless sometimes if it really matters, it'll come in clutch. I have no control over this. The gods decide if it matters or not.
Yes. Jack, you are in the danger zone at this point, so be careful. If you can't roll higher than a 2 in the coming days, you know where you got it from.
I'm so sorry.
Jonah, what about you next?
Hello, I'm Jonah. Favorite thing I like about TTRPG game, I love combat. I love building different characters and different builds. But I also really like the stories that get told.
Nice. Cool. And we'll try to tell some awesome stories. Ryan, what about you? Or are you away from
Hello,
your computer?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm Ryan. Hello, I'm Ishin's second strongest soldier, and I really like being a hero in RPGs. So,
and we do reward heroics. I am very open about this. My games slant towards those characters and people that, try to be heroic. The being good is always the path towards greater power. Being evil might get you a short-term benefit, but being good and heroic, it gets you pretty far. I think, Ryan, you could attest to that.
This is true.
And C.Y.B.R, certainly about the same, but on a universal scale. But thank you, Ryan. Connor, what about you?
All right, my name's Connor. A little something about me. I like hope maxing and flexing in the mirror. And my favorite thing about tabletop RPGs is slaying evil and being a hero. Right, Ryan? Dap me up. I'm feeling the dap up.
Dapping you up, dapping you up.
Yep. But that, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. And now another new person. Gabriel, hello. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Hello, thank you for having me, for inviting me. This is gonna be my second time playing D&D, also in English, which is my second language, so it's gonna be hard. That's it. I like art. I like painting. I don't know what else to say.
Yes.
I hope to have fun with you all.
Well, we hope that you have a lot of fun. Gabriel, you've recently posted a bunch of amazing art that you've been working on in the chat. So if you guys haven't gotten to see Gabriel's work, definitely go forward and look at that.
It is really, really good.
It is phenomenal.
I will be commissioning.
Yep. Oh, thank you very much.
And look at that. That is wonderful. Now, we will not be playing D&D in this campaign. We'll be using the Wonder system. So, it will definitely be a learning experience, but I think most of these guys can attest, not that steep a learning curve. And some, even will say that they like it more than D&D. I don't know about that, but hopefully you enjoy it, Gabriel.
Thank you very much.
All right, Athena, what about you next?
Hi, my name is Athena. This is like will this be the third West Marches I've participated in?
Third, yes.
I think so, yeah. Yes. I like role-playing more than I do combat, but I think combat is pretty fun. I suppose I prefer to take support roles in combat, since if other people like combat, I think it is better for me to allow them to do the things that they prefer doing, which is hitting hard, usually. And I am just happy that I get to keep being here.
All right, and there will be a lot of RP moments in CYB
Absolutely.
for you. So
I wouldn't doubt it, based on literally every other campaign.
Yep. But Cooper, tell us about yourself.
Hi guys, it's me, Cooper. I had nothing to do with compression stuff. I don't know what Colin's talking about. The favorite TTRPG thing is it is an excuse to hang out with my friends and engage with a pretty good story. So, great hobby.
Nice. And Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Brandon, and I fight Waffle House employees on the side.
Good. Do you win?
We don't have to talk about that.
Fair enough. And
they are Waffle House employees.
Yeah, they are pretty tough. But hopefully you have fun in this campaign. And I'm Colin. I'm a law student. Work a lot with human trafficking victims currently, but I will have a lot more time this summer transitioning jobs. I run these things. Meropis is my kind of little child of a world, and I hope you guys have a great time. You guys get to learn more about each other, about the world, and create some long-lasting memories here. CYB.R, believe it or not, is the campaign that I've put the most time and effort into pre-prep for a campaign ever. So it has the structure and the foundation to do a lot. I know some of you guys have been in some pretty big campaigns with me, but I think that at the end of all this, you will say, CYB.R's the moment where we jumped up a level. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. So, that's that. Now we can start talking about the fleets, guys. The fucking fleets. Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about the fleets.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, characters in C.Y.B.R are separated between 5 fleets. These are kind of, individual nodules of bureaucracy that kind of designate characters into different archetypes or groups. First fleet, the Dragons. You're the strike force of the fleet, focused on fast movement and martial fighting prowess. You are the tip of the spear. Then you have the second fleet, the Black Cats. You're stealth specialist, but you're also good at talking to people. So a Black Cat is at home in the shadows or in the middle of a ballroom dance floor. Then you have the third fleet, the Stormhawks. There are spaceships in C.Y.B.R that you guys get to pilot, and the Stormhawks are the best pilots. They focus on, the ships and their exploratory capabilities, as well as combat. So if you need an amazing pilot, you'll look over to this fleet, the third fleet. Fourth fleet, the Immortals, the warriors of the Pioneers, focused on damage output and the ability to tank damage. They also have mutations associated with them. So if you want to be a little bit of a mutant, you can go for the Immortals. And last but not least, the fifth fleet, the glue of the Pioneers, the Iron Hounds, focused on artificing, the building of items, and hero points, which allow you all to reroll dice, but also you can burn hero points for many other benefits. Each one of these fleets has its own specific areas inside the Pioneer base, and you can build up your fleets. Depending on which fleet you're in, you can get certain benefits called detachments. You can unlock specific areas, specific NPCs to help you on missions, fleet-centric utilities, whatever. Your fleet is kind of, your ability to work together and build something up that you're really proud of. So, how do you build up the fleets? If you look at the Pioneer information section, it's in the actual C.Y.B.R folder. Very first page, you see this particular sheet. Each fleet has that requirement section, which allows you to increase the levels of the fleet. Where in the folder, you ask, Cooper? So if you go to
where's the C.Y.B.R folder that contains everything? Like, where's the drive?
So if you look at the C.Y.B.R introduction document, I believe the very first link in the links section is the C.Y.B.R folder. And you can click that and you can see everything that's in there. Yep, no problem. This is the time to be asking those sorts of questions. And if you go ahead and you open up that folder, there's the C.Y.B.R Pioneer information sheet. Right there, you're able to see on this very first sheet, this particular image. Under each one of the fleets and the Pioneer base itself, there's that requirements section. That shows how many hero points players need to put in to the fleet in order to get it to the next level. Now, the fleet can sometimes sustain injury and drop down a level, let's say. But for the most part, you want to build up that fleet with those hero points you're putting in. You want to get it to a max level fleet so you can get the maximum amount of benefit from your detachments, your levels, and your facilities. So you guys can work together to build those fleets up. And joining a fleet, normally you have to petition for membership. So those within the fleet can kind of let in certain characters or deny certain characters. Now, to prevent fleets from becoming cliquey, you have to give a reason for denial and an avenue of entrance. And then if, that avenue of entrance, that thing that you need to do to enter the fleet is resolved, then you go ahead and you enter into the fleet. Once you are in a fleet, you cannot be removed except by a fleet admiral. if your wanted level exceeds 5. If you were to somehow get a wanted level of 40, my guess is that you would be Giga Nuked from the fleet, which you don't want to do because there are a lot of benefits with the fleet. I put inside the reference document a sample petition for membership. You can just fill everything out, submit that into the fleet chats, which will be unlocked shortly once people start getting into fleets and can get into that membership cycle. However, today we are founding your fleets, so you can just join one for free if you're in this session. So thumbs up, and we can do that a little bit later on because, well, do you guys want to decide on fleets now, or do you want that to kind of be up in the air until you go ahead and choose your fleet admirals, the NPCs that are at the top of the fleet that you are under and, essentially kind of take orders and guidance from? What are you guys feeling? Admirals first? Admirals? Or...
I think admirals.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the admirals will make
Gotcha. Just giving you guys the option. So, we'll get into the choices. First choice is Margot Fabre, previous NPC, most of these previous NPCs. This is an exorcist whose main specialty is as a medium, fighting ghosts. Very sharp, quick-witted, comes along with a heavy-hitting partner as well. Next. Now, this is where you guys might be saying, she wasn't on the roster. So far, the column posted, you're right. I did not put every NPC that would be an option on there so far. So, strap in. This is Yvonne, one of the foremost mages on the Rings of Meropis, was the mother of one of Ryan's characters. Very, very powerful. The wife of the most powerful material god, Zell. So, lots of magic at her disposal. Next, we have Hecuba Ertel Hinter from C.Y.B.R, or not C.Y.B.R, but Our Thing fame. Moving into C.Y.B.R, was once the consigliere of a crime family. Great with logistics, but also a formidable fighter, too. We have Loveday, the Earth Blood Witch, one of the Archfey of the Primordial Rings. She's the leader of the Radiant Hunt, hunter by nature, very, very powerful, but also a Fey, so keep your eye out for that. And a Storm Witch, for those of you that know what that is. Next, we have Zippy. The Q is silent in the name. Zippy is the son of a previous NPC, Adam, PH silent, from the campaign Bedlam. Zippy is an artificer by trade, but more so specialized for weapons, and still, like his father, likes to go fast. Next, Canaston, another Archfey. Archfey of Teprez, very ordered, structure, represents the regality of nature. And of course, has everyone's favorite attack, Impact. But we have even more choices for all of you. Hester of the Sunlands. Hester is an angel from Paradise, a fighter, and someone who hasn't been seen in quite a long time. Then we also have Sayoko. Sayoko is the combination of two great bloodlines, the Sun and Moon, and one of the most formidable fighters in the Rings of Meropis. Also is the child of one of Jonah's old characters. Has gone toe-to-toe with some pretty big evils, and is more than willing to bring that expertise to fighting those within the darkness between the stars. Next, Rodion von Graz, the master of the Gravity Martial School, son of the legendary Helmuth von Graz, nephew of the legendary legendary Oksana von Graz, and of course the first Devil of Murder. Very powerful soldier, very steadfast and purposeful. Next we have Annette. Annette Alessio was also in our previous Marches campaign, Our Thing, a logistical genius who at the end of Our Thing was kidnapped by a psycho serial killer and is trying to save those that weren't saved and leave her past and trauma behind. Well, not all of her past. Next, we have Anessa Dashkova, one of the foremost modern artificers. Was also in Our Thing, was in Cirque du Monstre, from a very ancient bloodline, and very, very skilled at the creation of all sorts of items and gadgets, and wants a vacation in the stars. Next, a dragon. So, for those of you that haven't been in the Rings of Meropis, or who might have forgotten, this is Akarau, Lord of the Tides, one of the metallic dragons. Metallic dragons are immortal beings in the Rings of Meropis that, when they are slain, reform into an egg, hatch a few days later, and then continue their life cycle once again. Akarau, the Lord of the Tides, is willing to venture with you out into the stars. Akarau right now has about 80 to 85 years of age under him. Is still growing, but in his full draconic form is about 150 feet long, and is certainly a force to be reckoned with. And if you choose him as your admiral, you'll get to see his human form as well, which has so far never been seen. So that's fun. Third page of choices. This is Misha. Misha is from the Bedlam campaign. Has been revived since a end, which occurred in Bedlam, but is a member of, believe it or not, the Shadow Government. Very skilled in espionage, information gathering, and grimoires as well, and is not afraid to die. Next up, the first Archfey, Elthrendil, master swordsman, a jokester, the man of many faces. Elthrendil is one of the foremost combatants in the Rings of Meropis and is many thousands of years old. But you might not be able to tell what he's saying because while he does speak the truth, it is in poetry, rhyme, and riddle, oftentimes. Next, Kyrian, the Twilight Rose, from the Prime Ring. Kyrian is a undead necromancer, who has kind of turned over a new leaf since the wars that constantly plagued her kingdom ended. So yay, yippee, but is now looking to do something new and different inside the Pioneer fleet as she heads out amongst the stars. Next, we have Joyous Pyre, a warrior from Brioa, martial school combatant extraordinaire, and many ties to deep secrets across the Rings of Meropis, but more so wants to go out and help the little folk to make sure that the evils beyond the stars cannot reach home and the innocent. Next, Kaleido Graves. Kaleido is an incredible mage, a knack for schemes and planning, and while he doesn't have the most arcane power, he knows how to leverage the power that he does have. And finally, Lantern. Lantern is the masked leader of a fleet. They go by their codename. No one has seen what's under that mask, but they are formidable in the gathering of secrets, in espionage, and who knows what else. What can this NPC do? We don't really know. Then we have a final choice here. Fauna. the Void Queen, one of the most powerful entities in the ranks of Meropis, and we'll be going on this expedition into the stars no matter what. She is very powerful, she is very knowledgeable, she is very dangerous. So, it's up to you, guys, whether or not you give her a position of power. So, with all that out of the way, now we go ahead and draft, as we'll go ahead and make decisions about who goes with which fleet. How are we going to do that? We're gonna spin a wheel, fellas. I hope you're ready. So,
I love gambling.
I was about to say, we're gambling.
We're gambling a bit. So, I'm gonna spin the wheel. If it lands on you, you can go ahead and make a selection, or you can decide to pass. It's up to you. So, or apart from passing, you can give it to that vote to someone else. You can talk your decision over with other people. It's basically open to you guys. So, first wheel spin. Here we go. Who gets the first choice in this draft? Oh my.
Yeah, that's only right.
Fuck.
Brandon! It's
Hey,
101.
Brandon.
You get
Brandon,
the
my
101. Congratulations.
Oh me, oh my.
Oh me, oh my.
Listen.
I'm listening.
I mean, my pick would be in the 101 is Rodion to the Dragons.
Rodion as
This-
Admiral of the Dragons. Okay. That's your pick for the 101.
Yep.
Alright, we love to see it. We like to see it. Then Rodion at this moment is off the board. Admiral of the Dragons. Let's see who's at the 102. Could be anyone. Ooh. Jonah.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
It's you. You can make the pick, you could pass, or you could give the pick to someone else. What you feeling?
Hmm. Ooh. Kind of want to be a little selfish with this one. Put Sayoko in the Immortal Fleet.
Sayoko as the Immortal Fleet Admiral?
Yeah.
Okay, then Sayoko is then off the board. She's leader of the Immortals. Very nice, very nice. Then, next up in here, I'm gonna go ahead and need to delete those who have already been rolled. So, next pick. Who's it gonna be, fellas? Jamie.
Oh no.
It's you.
Okay. Remind me which one is the one for hero points and building things? That
The
was
Iron
Stormhawk?
Hounds. Nope, the
Iron
Iron
Hounds.
Hounds.
Iron Hounds. Would it be okay with you guys if we put Lantern in the Iron Hounds? It's very Black Cat coded, but I think he could do really well there.
It wouldn't have been my choice, but it is your choice.
If we're opening up to discussion, I would say the Black Cat code is a spot
That was
on.
that was my
Yeah.
first thought. I had the idea of like, oh, maybe he could do like fun gadgets and shit, but that's also not helpful. So I'll put Lantern with the Black Cats.
Lantern with the black cats, then. Okay. Cool. Then, Lantern with the cats. Good pick. Let's see who's up next. Jack! Responsibilities coming knocking.
I know. I'm excited for it. I was thinking we'd place Zippy in the Stormhawks. What say the team?
He's perfect.
Given what we know about Zippy, Connor, should we give him responsibility?
Can we just kill him and leave him out of it?
No.
When does this take place?
Look, I don't know who this character is, alright? I'm going into this kind of raw, so I'm open to suggestions, alright?
Zippy
Listen, the Predator's almost gone.
But Adam is awesome.
It's almost gone. Yeah, Adam's cool. We're not gonna get into it.
I mean, I would suggest Thana for Stormhawks.
No.
She's gonna get power eventually anyway.
Taser.
Bold of you to assume that she doesn't already have it.
I like.
Yeah, then why not get in our good graces and
No.
put it
I like
there?
to pick is there
It's a good
nothing
pick.
wrong with keeping characters like that in arm's length?
I think your
No
original choice was
fun.
fine.
Good choice, Jack. Good choice.
Yeah.
Okay,
good choice.
I hereby decree Zippy is in charge of the Stormhawks.
Zippy is in charge of the Stormhawks. Okay, we'd love to see it. We'd
No
love to
speed
see
limit,
it.
Ryan.
Oh, God.
There is no speed limit. All right. Next up. Cooper.
Ornament.
Well, the opportunity to slot Thana in arises.
Yes, it does. The Iron Hounds is open.
Would anybody be legitimately upset?
Correct, yes.
I would.
Yes, I would.
That would be
I
the
would
first
be.
one.
Glad you put
No,
there.
please.
It'd be really funny though.
Somewhere else.
That would be the
No.
That would be the perfect spot.
She does have a damage output.
No.
Just saying.
Does she
Calling it-
build though?
She
Yeah,
built you a knife.
She built a city.
Yeah.
Taser.
Easily.
I guess that's not
No,
exactly the same.
It's not the same.
Can we assume that the rest of the NPCs will still be able to be like approached and asked for advice and things like that at occasionally, not necessarily at like the drop of a hat?
I will not guarantee NPCs that are here will have an opportunity to go on the expedition. NPCs that are not chosen will most likely stay back because there will be new NPCs, and we don't want to crowd the expedition with NPCs right off the bat. Now, Thana is going no matter what. She will be going. Because she wants to go and no one can stop her. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually grabbed Colin by the throat and said that she's going. It's crazy.
Shook him up a little bit.
But yes, it kind of depends on where you want to situate her. Is she going to be given a position of power and leadership? Is she going to be tried to relegate to the sidelines? It all kind of depends on what you guys want to do, how you want to play this.
Definitely relegating her to the sidelines won't have any negative consequences in the future.
I
Building
shrug.
yourself forward.
She's been locked in a box for thousands of years. I don't know if she has knowledge on teamwork or leadership.
She
I don't
definitely.
understand.
Still a demon prince.
So
She's awesome. I agree, and I want her to be with us, and I want to hang out with her. But does she
Does she feel
Bold of
have
you.
the skills to be an admiral? or the right attitude.
Well,
I
that
don't
raises
think-
that also has the question of like, if you fail Fauna under her admiralship, are you going to exist in that instant? Or are you
Great
just going to be
question.
erased?
Don't fail.
And like
Smile?
she's got like
There-
a grandson to look for, so like maybe she wouldn't want a ton of responsibility, so she can just go do shit.
There is an argument to be made for Inessa.
I mean, that's who I would have picked if Zippy. Since Zippy was chosen, that would be my other choice.
Considering the artificing background.
But
Okay,
I
just
also
for
love
you
Margot and
guys.
Enola, so I would. I would also
don't
go with them.
believe the Aethersmith was brought up though.
Correct.
Are they
It's-
still?
They're around.
Okay. Okay.
For the good of the group, I'm gonna pass.
Okay, that's a pass then. Then we'll spin again.
My heart.
It's like being in a room with a loaded gun. I take it around Fauna.
Yes.
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 And what's wrong with that?
Athena.
It's a big gun.
I assume that we're all in agreement on Anessa.
I want Thana. I'll say it. I don't want
Yes.
Thana out there on
Yes.
her own.
The Fauna
I don't want
Coalition
the-
arises.
No. I don't want Thana anywhere near me at all.
Listen, you
Well,
don't
she's
want
gonna
her,
be
she won't
around.
bother you.
I'm just gonna walk away.
Walk away from Thana. That's a good choice. That's the worst one.
You can't die though, so it's okay.
That's not how that works.
There are worse things than death, my guy.
die. And either you get in Thana's good graces or it's suddenly not your problem anymore. So I think the Thana Coalition stands strong, but anyway, I digress. It's Athena's choice.
Thana Coalition.
Thana or Nessa. That's my choice.
The Inessa Separatists.
That's a separatist.
Galactic Civil War, Session 0.
Well, that was quick.
Lisa Nalgaïv.
Be funny if we just flipped a coin.
No,
Heads Thana, tails
Yeah,
Anessa.
that'd be
What?
nice. That's fair.
None of this
Yeah, I mean,
conversation was
First
helpful.
roll of the campaign. First roll of the campaign.
Can anybody,
is the same.
for the Thana people, the two Thana people, tell me
I'm third.
anything that would make you. Okay, the three of you, tell me anything that would change my mind from Anessa. Literally anything.
I'll say this. If we don't choose Thana as a leader, she's going to be loose.
And if we run into something and accidentally touch something of Thana's, then it's an everyone problem. If we accidentally touch Thana's stuff
Counter
without
argument.
knowing.
What would stop her from being mad at us, even if she was captain, though?
Well,
Like, she could just leave
inherently
anyway. I don't
we're-
understand.
Well, if she chooses to leave, then putting her in there wasn't a permanent decision anyway, right? This way, we at least know for a fact that we're somewhat aligned in the fact that she would be in charge of something and sending us somewhere that, like, if you want information that's going to be higher than just letting her run loose and then needing to manually check in.
Yeah, would you rather know where the missile is or isn't?
That's
Let me
true.
counterpoint this. Where was the synergy when it was your turn to pick, Brandon? That's my counterpoint. What are you
No,
doing?
because I had to make sure I could you on.
Colby? Hang on.
Listen, with the 101 and not choosing Thana, I'm dead already, but I wanted Rodion.
Okay, but like, let's be realistic. What is Thana gonna do? to help
Realistic
us
about
out of this?
Thana, you could just...
Would you shut up for a second? What is she gonna do to help us artifice? Because if we ask her to do something, there's a 50-50 we die.
Yeah, because basically
Oh, no,
what I'm
it's
doing is I'm
way-
picking the person that I'm going to be going to, and I don't.
Yeah,
know
you guys
if
are playing
Thana
with a
has
loaded
the
gun.
skills for
Then I
this
believe the power is
group.
yours. Then it's your
Nah.
decision to make.
Then pick Anessa.
I am in favor of Inessa because I don't know anything about what's going on, and I am scared of Thana.
You're right.
This is
You
good.
should be scared of Thana.
Yes. You
Now,
should be very scared of Thana.
The fear is why we should give her power.
No.
Otherwise,
It sounds like she's gonna have power no matter what.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's-
us
that's
deciding to
scary
make
part.
Tiamat the ruler of our camp. Like I just
You've
I don't
already done that.
understand.
well, Tia, I mean that's kind
How
of
is that
different.
different? How is it different?
I would say lots of things are different than
I'm
Thana.
picking Anessa.
Yeah, there are a
It's
lot of
Anessa.
things.
I want
Anessa?
Anessa.
Okay.
And it's a good choice.
Anessa.
I don't care. It's Anessa.
Admirable.
Two of you guys are Bulby. That is really messing with me.
Oh, yes. Bulby. All right, Anessa Dashkova, leader of the Iron Hounds. Good job. Good job. Now,
Different Bulbies.
let's see. We got that. Good job. We got those leaders. Now the Commodores, aka the second in commands. Oh, yeah, friends. You thought it was over. You thought it was done. No.
Oh, now you're gonna be stuck with Thana in second. Can you
Not putting
imagine?
Thana in
No,
second.
I
Donna in anything.
Connor, you know what has to be done.
Is the corner an option for Thana?
See, now that is the
No.
worst option.
Anything's
Hey,
an
man, what-
option.
the corner away from me. Let's see, what were the options again?
Could we
Let's see.
have the names that are still left put somewhere?
So I've been marking it in the Cyber Drop
Okay.
12 as well. So you have Margot, Yvonne, Hecuba, Loveday, Zippy's been chosen, Canaston, Hester, Sayoka's been chosen, Rodion's been chosen, Annette, Nessa's been chosen, Icarao, he's around, Misha.
I think he needs to be on the dragons. I don't know what it is.
It's the dragon second in command of the
Oh.
dragon.
Who is the one
So
top
funny.
right?
Kyrian.
The last in the armor? Okay.
Hecuba does not have a martial form, right?
Hecuba is martially inclined.
Okay. Okay.
So she and Joyous Pyre are martial schooly.
Joy Pyre is probably more martial school than Hecuba.
I'm gonna do. I need a pyre. I'm sorry. Joy pyre to the dragons.
Okay, Commodore of the Dragons. Joyous Pyre. Awesome, awesome. Then here, I'm just gonna place you with Cooper. And we'll go ahead and spin this again. Ooh. Hey Ryan, what you want?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Thana to the Iron.
Listen,
Stop.
I think Thana in any combat position is just a quick way to get an NPC killed.
Yes.
And let me tell you, they had it coming.
Yes. I am feeling. What am I feeling? I'm feeling a net for the Black Cats.
Okay.
I like that.
Annette Alessio for the Black Cats. Very nice indeed. We'd like to see it. Now we got Stormhawks, Immortals, and Iron Hounds open. Cooper, the choice goes back to you.
All right, where are my coalition fellas at?
You're dead in the water now.
Yeah,
All right, who's left? I can't keep track of it in my head.
Don't have to. There's many.
Oh, yeah, it's in the drop.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second to find it.
There's also Yvonne, who's open. Who's there? Yeah, there's many.
I share my opinions, Cooper.
I'm glad that I'm not alone, and when the campaign starts in earnest, we will be there.
Sure. No, my thought process, and people can feel free to disagree. I feel like Yvonne would be good for the Iron Hounds, since she's a rune-based mage.
I'm thinking either Yvonne on Iron Hounds or Kaleido on cats. The second in command hasn't been chosen for cats yet, right?
Yes.
It just was.
Just was
yeah.
chosen.
Oh my god. I have short-term memory. Okay, then yeah.
What's the choice?
Yvonne on Iron Hounds.
Okay. Yvonne on the Iron Hounds. Cool. Then Stormhawks and Immortals remaining.
Shit. God damn it.
Marcus.
Oh my god. All my selections were goddamn taken. What fleets are left?
The Stormhawks, the ship-centric fleet, or the Immortals, the fighting-centric fleet.
Options, guys. I need some help here.
I can give you some options.
Sure.
Somewhere.
I was gonna put him in dragons, but you took the spot.
Purely selfishly, I want to see Elthrindel again. I love him so much.
I know. I was thinking of
That's
him
not
too.
helpful for anything, though.
I mean,
I think the big
Elfengold.
dragon would be a good pick.
For
I think Hecuba could also be a good pick for either.
what, for the Stormhawks?
Either. I mean, she's a fighter, and also, she's good at logistics and movement.
Let's go with the big bad dragon on Stormhawks.
Okay.
Akerau?
Yeah.
Alright, Akerau, Lord of the Tides, you are the Commodore of the Stormhawks. Very nice. Then comes down to Peter and Gabriel for deciding the fate of the Immortal Fleet.
Oh, Peter, you really are unlucky.
Yeah.
I told you.
True to my introduction.
I want to give it to Peter since I feel
Yeah.
kind of lost right now on all the information.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
They're all good characters, so you wouldn't have made a bad choice.
All right, thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Peter.
Okay. For the Immortals, so my top 3 are Canaston. I just love Elthrindil, and then I also want to see more of Hester. Thoughts,
I also liked
feelings?
Canaston and Hester since we didn't get a lot of them in Solandis. A lot of them normal in Solandis.
Correct.
Particularly. Immortals is the mutation-y one.
Correct.
Honestly, both of them have experience with that, so I think either would be good.
Let's see. But let's see.
Who is the?
Sayoko.
Who did we pick for the leader?
Sayoko.
Sayoko.
That's Sayoko.
And could you give me like that short recap again for Sayoko?
She is the convergence of the sun and moon, bloodline, martial fighter extraordinaire, bringer of the eclipse, has gone toe-to-toe with Entropy, has fought Ataxia, gone and fought Radovon Rays. Like, if there is a heavy hitter in the Rings of Meropis, Sayoko has probably gone up against him, and she does not lose.
Okay. I like with Sayoko mixing up the lines of Sun and Moon, Hester being from the Sunlands feels on point. But Canaston is also another just powerhouse that would be fun.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
If the coin lands on its side, it's Thana.
Yeah, let's flip a coin.
Donna's not in the running. Put it to Elthrundil if it lands on its side.
Thana's always in the running.
Colin, would you be able to replace our names with Canaston and Hester and then spin the wheel?
Sure. I can do that.
Can you add a
I love the
0.1%
or
chance
Hester
for
we did
Thana?
this.
I mean, sure, why not? I think that'd be really funny.
What about Elthrundil?
No.
Sure, okay. Why not?
Biggie.
Alright, guys.
Please be funny.
It's happening.
Play the
Please,
kazoo.
Please.
Thank God.
Canaston.
You were the last pick in the draft.
Listen, Cooper. I know who's gonna get hit by Thana. It's not us.
Yeah, we're in the clear. The coalition stays winning.
Donna said, I broke the fourth wall and heard everything.
So, draft complete. Now, we launch into CYB next week, Sunday, Session 1, Arc 1, named The Time of Angels. Session 1's data pad is as follows. It's called the New Order. A mining station on an asteroid was attacked by demons. Karania and the fleet have intercepted a message on an emergency channel. It is time for our presence to be known in the wider galaxy. The hunters are now the hunted. All fleets sail forth to Thysia Station. So, there you go. And after this mission, players with finished backstories get datapad missions of their own. So that's something going forward. Any questions that you guys have right now about CYB that I can answer as we're now in session 0? And, you know, there's probably something knocking around in heads and I can answer them in front of everyone.
Yes.
We were still going to pick which fleet we belonged to after we drafted.
Correct. And that's more so, you can do that on your own, really. But, like, I can go down top to bottom at this point and we can get some names put down if we would like. So,
Sure.
Yeah, why not? All right, Brandon, what fleet do you want the All Access pass to? Dragons. Cooper, what fleet?
Immortals.
Immortals for Cooper. Easy enough. Athena.
Hound.
Hounds. Okay.
That's artificers, right?
Yep.
I didn't just make that up? Okay, cool.
Nope. Gabriel.
I want to be Immortals too. Please.
Immortals. Gotcha. Good choice. Then Connor.
The Iron Hounds.
The Hounds. Okay. Next up then, Ryan.
I'm going Black Cats.
Black Cats. All right. Jonah.
I will be going Immortals.
Immortals. Peter.
Immortals as well.
All right. Lots of Immortals then. Jack, what are you feeling?
The Stormhawks is like ship focused primarily.
Correct. Yes.
Then I will be taking the Stormhawks.
Stormhawks. Love to see it. All right. Next up, Jamie.
Black Cats, please. I need to see what's up with Lantern.
Okay. And finally, Marcus.
This is a hard decision. It's like
There it is,
not Black Cats, Dragons.
Dragons, okay.
You almost
Fair enough. Then, currently, I will go ahead and post the breakdown. Lots of Immortals. We got some Hounds, we got some Cats, some Dragons, and the Lone Stormhawk. Represent. All right. Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask and then I'm gonna skedaddle. When in this week before our first session, what is the latest we can get you our backstory by?
The latest that you can get the backstory. Good question. I will post my answer in the cyber text. I'm not requiring backstories. It's only suggested. Now, backstory integration will take place only once the questions have been answered, but you can technically play sessions without a backstory in cyber. It's just, I'm not going to integrate your character into the campaign. You're just going to be a guy.
This is a super stupid question. I don't plan on doing it, but just in case. Can you play a character without a backstory, later retroactively make a backstory, send it in?
Yes.
For that character. Okay.
But I'm not responsible for any plot holes that you create.
Yeah.
Yes, that is possible.
Very fun.
Cool. I have a question.
Okay.
Will there still be downtime sessions in this campaign, or will that be focused more to like mini missions, like mini scenes?
Yeah, there can be downtime missions. You just schedule one, and then you can go and have some downtime, talk to people, try to get some things checked off your bucket list. No problem.
Looking at the I've got two questions. First, looking at the folder, are the folders for each fleet where our character sheet should go, so that way it's not a big clump?
That is correct.
Cool. Secondly, this is more of a story thing. I don't know if we're gonna have to wait until we're actually in game to figure this out, but can I know how like the capture and harvesting of tachyons would work?
All you will know is that Piranha has a way.
Pain.
We trust Karania.
All right, well, I'll find out later.
Yep. Just play the game. You'll learn.
I had a question.
Okay.
So for missions, they can be solo. For the engagement roles, though, at least like looking into it, it looks like if you are doing solo, it is harder to be in a good position.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Gotcha. So it is possible, but you are more likely to be in a risky position.
Correct.
Okay.
I had a question. For cargo space, that is just for the stuff you get in the mission, right? You can keep more than that stuff just in an inventory.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just the maximum of supplies you can harvest from a mission.
So like I could get 3 metal and 2 polymer if I had 5.
Correct.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. For doing upgrades, I'm assuming those are the type of things that would happen as like a one action that you submit once a day, and you can resolve one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those like actions, are you able to like prime an upgrade even though you don't have the resources yet?
No.
Or so you have to have the resources available as you prime the action?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is correct.
Let's see. For the room spaces on your ship, those are like highly customizable rooms, right?
Yes, they are. And those are also eaten up into the cargo. So a room, depending on the size, might take up a cargo slot permanently because it's occupying that ship kind of space if you fill that out.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood.
Sorry, yet another question. For creating our sessions for our characters for the first session, this would be the same as creating any other Wonder character, right? There's not anything. I mean, the character sheets very different and special. But is there anything that we need to change with character creation when we're going for this one?
If you haven't already looked through the introduction document and everything, depending on the fleet that you are a part of, if you are a part of a fleet going into it, you will start with fleet-specific items, which are found in the reference document. So, the dragons give you different supplies than the black cats, than the immortals, etc., etc. So, but also it's let's take Jack, who's starting as a Stormhawk. The Stormhawks, if you start with them, you gain +1 cargo space or +1 armor for your ship, just starting right off the bat. And you,
so we would need to do the ship stuff as well under the ship tab?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I will give a little note, because might not be obvious to some, for the cyber sheet, the main ship, adjusting that will also adjust everything on the ship tab for your first ship, just with the resources and things like that. So if you go to that ship tab and the tiers and everything, that is 1-to-1 matched by what's happening over there on the first sheet, just for ease, so you guys don't need to do more work than necessary. Any other questions or things that I can clarify?
I think you got it.
All right. If that's the case, then I'm going to stick around for some backstory and character creation and workshopping. But yeah, I'm not going to introduce any more information in this session 0. Hopefully you guys are excited. But yeah, I'm now just here answering questions and helping with backstory stuff for a while.
Very fun.
Could that, if I needed, so I work all week, right? Just like everybody, I assume. The backstory meetings, is that when that could kind of take place?
What do you mean? Oh.
Workshopping backstory ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can just, hit me up, and I also put some times for the coming week when I'm available. I've cleared out basically my upcoming Saturday, just whenever people want to meet, because I know people might be very interested. But yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to bow out now, guys. Thank you so much, Colin. I'm very excited.
All right. No problem.
You all have a good night.
See ya.
Good night.
Same to you. Bye.
Just call him for that. If would we just put a time slot where our name is and color it green?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And I have a few macros that are tied to my email and stuff. So whenever you guys make a change, I get an email. I can go and it will automatically add it to my calendar.
Okay.
Speaking of email, I need to email you the bullet point list that I have for character before our meeting.
Much appreciated. Should be helpful. But are there any questions or things people have about characters, backstory, anything that they might need inspiration on, or questions or things like that?
I do have a question.
Okay.
How difficult would it be for someone to take a ship from one ring to another?
I mean, without the use of an astral lighthouse, nearly impossible. But just from ring to ring, if you have the proper astral ship, not that difficult.
Okay. It's not
Sorry.
I was saying, it's not a common thing. It's not commercial shuttles.
Oh, no, there are.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Commercially available to go from different rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask about the portal. I think there's one on the Titanic ring in that goes to the Primordial ring. Is that one like kind of public usage, or how does that one work? In the continent of.
I mean, there are many portals. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Like that's a very public one. But like there are many thousands of private ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How easy is it to work with and get resources from other fleets?
Depends on the fleet, like in the players. Certain things are locked to certain fleets. So like you can't use like specific detachments that come with fleets or some of like their resources and stuff. Like the fleets could like take your shit and maybe use them. But it kind of just like depends on the thing and like how the fleets are working together. Now, again, the sharing of resources, it's 2 to 1. So every 2 that you give someone, they get 1.
Hello?
And it's rounded down. Hi. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yeah, you're fine.
I
I
can
think
hear
Cooper's
you.
just having
I think Cooper,
headset problems again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, but it's...
Well, Cooper's just dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's okay. He'll come back in.
Shoot. I think my hardest thing is going to be, like, remembering which, like, file the thing I'm looking for is in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, right now, I'm trying to track down the individual, like upgrades for the fleet themselves.
Those haven't been posted yet, though.
Oh, they haven't been? Oh, okay, gotcha. I must be thinking of, like, the picture that was posted in the information.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just that general one he had on the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Now it makes sense. Alright.
Yep.
Okay, well, sweet.
All those are coming along, though, and probably once we go ahead and end this call, I'll put all the detachment information and things up. But is there information on a particular fleet that you would want for like those detachments? Because I do technically have everything.
No, it's okay. I'll just read through it later, once it is posted.
Gotcha. No problem then. Because, like, if we're talking about, like, let's say the Black Cats, like, their 2 starting detachments, so every fleet's going to start with 2, is Shadowborn, which you make checks to hide at benefit 1, or Silver Tongue. You add an additional 3d6 on checks made to convince or deceive using your words.
Okay. Are they just guaranteed, like, on your ship, or you have to spend resources to, like, acquire those attachments?
Those detachments, you can take one for free, and then there is a cost in switching them for the particular detachment. So you need to spend 1 momentum and resolve a pregame action to switch out a detachment.
Gotcha. So you don't just have multiple detachments?
No, you only have 1 detachment at a time.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing you unlock more as you upgrade your fleet?
Yes, you unlock more options to gather. And like basically as your fleet levels, so do your detachments.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, if your fleet level drops for some reason, you can't use detachments that require like level 2 and you're level 1 for your fleet. So it's stuff like that.
Okay.
That is gonna be a mindset. yeah, they'll all be posted and out there, probably, if not, tonight, then tomorrow. All right, though. Any other backstory questions or things?
I sent a vague idea-ish in DMs. If it's just a thumbs up or thumbs down.
That's a thumbs down.
Okay.
Because I'm like, all the NPCs already have their own plot lines, so I'm not going to let you co-opt an NPC. Like, you can do that for another NPC that you make, but
Very fun.
For the dodging in ships section, it says powers that affect stamina points could be used.
Yes.
As long as they don't specifically refer to health blocks. The guard action refers to like negating damage from, so like you don't have to spend those stamina points. I'm assuming that does not qualify though.
Guard would probably not qualify, because it's like, alright, how can you guard with the ship? Now, if a player in the moment can, make a case to me how their ship could guard, sure. But like, ship combat, I'm in the spirit of wonder, I'm allowing it to be not as heavily defined and allowing you guys to kind of steer things.
Gotcha. So like if I'm able to make a, like a transformer ship that I'm piloting with my body, then I could guard.
Yeah.
Because it's to guard with.
Yeah, if you make a Gundam, sure. Take the guard action.
Yeah, which would actually be so badass.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you from just being like, I'm going to, formulate a massive artificer coalition so we can make this Gundam.
Oh my gosh, like literally, and oh my god, how cool would it be to be like, alright, one person from every fleet will make a Gundam, and together we'll make Voltron. It'd just be so cool. It'd be so cool.
You could. You absolutely could.
The dragons will produce dragons.
You could make Fleet Gundam.
More kaiju battles.
More kaiju battles.
There's already a kaiju battle mechanic.
Say I was to play a Decepticon. Could I be my ship?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Your character can literally be your own ship. That's so funny.
I mean, there may or may not be, players here who could do that thing. And we've talked about it. Like CYB.R is, I think its foundations are robust enough that you can do a whole frickin' lot with this.
Yeah.
And do some really, really cool things. Yeah.
And if you think about it later.
And if you think about it later.
Character.
I mean, maybe don't even need to make a new character. You're just like, well, pivot. I'm going to start putting resources into this idea. And you can do that. So, I want to make it as simple and easy for you guys as possible to play the characters that you want to play, have the experience you want to have. The only thing that is requested is that you have the vision, the dedication to make those things a reality. And that your character's from, I suppose, the Rings of Meropis and is an Aether Soul-ish. But, yeah. Pretty simple stuff. For the most part. At least, I think. But we'll have to see. I want your guys' imaginations to flourish and for you guys to be able to go ahead and have the experience that is most appealing to you. So, should
What if I
be
just
cool.
want to be a dry potato?
Then you can be a dry potato. You might not do very much. I don't know
What if
how
you
that's
wanted
going to
to
be
be a
fun.
wet potato instead? Be a wet potato.
Throw you in the airlock and watch you explode as all the moisture instantly evaporates.
A damp
Oh, yeah.
potato, maybe?
So now for my question, Jamie, ketchup or fries?
Fries.
Christ.
Why?
Colin, please, I can't do this again.
It's a canon event. I can't stop it.
He already asked me earlier.
I
and he
can't do
was
this
like,
again.
What do you?
Listen,
I don't even wanna
Connor,
expand
we
upon
got fucking ask ketchup or World War II. I don't even know what that means.
this. Obviously, I'm picking World War II, man. I fucking hate.
You support Hitler? Oh my god.
I also
I mean-
don't like ketchup, so I'd pick fries.
Millions
Is that okay?
died.
It's debatable, but you know, we won't talk about it in this channel.
I'm gonna.
I've got work in the morning. I'm a little
Medium choice.
tired. I'm gonna head out.
Okay, good
Goodbye,
night.
everyone.
Yeah,
Bye, Cooper.
Good night, Bert.
Brandon, I'm gonna look you in the eye when I say this. This hypothetical sucks.
Oh, trust me, they get way better.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They arguably get significantly worse.
I mean, look at Ryan. I mean, he's having the time of his life down there.
I mean, like, I'm not even gonna say we valleyed because I've been given worse hypotheticals, but like, this is a pretty bad one. Not even because like it's a hard decision, just dumb.